Louisville fans, where are you? You promised me you would be here.
Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, the Coach Coop Show. Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, the Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show.
What's going on, Canes fans? How the heck are you guys feeling right now? Me personally, I'm feeling pretty dang good, but I do have one question for you.
Is he just sleeping? Or is he dead?
Alright, okay, enough with the jokes. It just feels good to win games again. After everything that we went through in the 2019 season, I feel like it's okay to sit back and just have a good time and enjoy a win. So I'm sure you are already well aware that the Miami Hurricanes defeated Louisville 47-34 tonight. So I want to take a few moments in this video to discuss what went right for us, but also let's not forget about what went wrong and what we can improve on. So let's kick it off with a couple of positives. First off, this is now 2 games under D'Eriq King's belt with 0 interceptions, and I think that this just truly shows his great decision-making skills. Miami did rack up a lot more passing yards this week over the UAB game, finishing at 325 compared to last week's 158. But King actually only threw 6 more passes in this game. The passing game was just more successful against Louisville. And can I get some love in the comment section for Mr. Automatic? You already know who I'm talking about, our kicker, Jose Borregales. He hasn't missed a single kick this season. I'm talking field goals and extra points, including the monster 57-yarder that he put right through the uprights in the Louisville game that honestly could have even been good from 65. He's such a valuable addition and asset to this team. It feels so good to finally be able to believe in our kicker again. And can we also just appreciate the fact that we just got a dub on the road? And let's also not forget that this was prime time. College game day was there. It feels good to win on national TV. Another positive is that I only see this offense getting better and better as the season progresses. I mean, 2 of our scores were from one big play on the first play of each drive. Let me back up and say that again. 2 of our scores were on the first play of the drive. Cameron Harris ripped off a huge 75-yard touchdown run, and then on the very next possession, D'Eriq King connects with Jalen Knighton, who then runs in another 75-yard touchdown. We have weapons all over the field, and it finally seems like we have an OC that knows how to use them. And I'm going to throw this as a positive in there as well. Coop's score prediction was actually pretty dang close. I mean, I'm 6 points off with Miami and 4 points off with Louisville, and we predicted the Miami dub, so I think that's definitely a positive. Now, of course, there are more positive takeaways from this game. I could go on and on, but I try to limit these videos to about 10 minutes. That way you don't get too bored watching it. So let's move on and actually look at some negative takeaways from this game. What went wrong? What did we not do well? At the end of the night, we did get the dub, but this Miami defense gave up 516 yards. Now, some of those yards came in late in the game in the 4th quarter, and what many of you call garbage time or the garbage time touchdowns, because we did give up 14 points to Louisville in the 4th quarter, but that just shows that we really need this defense to tighten up. We have to play 4 quarters of football and never let up. Now, you could argue that the game plan defensively was to focus on stopping the big pass play, which is something that Louisville is typically successful with. So that opens up the opportunity for them to break off some smaller runs consistently and some shorter pass plays to pick up some yards. And that is partially true. And we did also, for the most part, successfully stop the big time pass plays. But it still hurts nonetheless to see this defense give up over 500 yards. That just wouldn't fly against a team like Clemson or some of our other upcoming opponents. And our tackling still needs more work, in my opinion. Still just too many missed tackles. Penalties, and more penalties. How did we go from having 3 total penalties in game number 1 to 11 penalties in the next game? We've got to be more disciplined and not shoot ourselves in the foot so much. If we were to cut our penalties in half in this game, we could have realistically scored another touchdown or 2. And I must say, hats off to Louisville for shutting down King's run game. His ability to rush and evade defenders is a huge factor for us, and it will be moving forward in the season. Louisville held De'Aaron King to just 9 yards rushing. That's crazy. And the Cardinals broke De'Aaron King's 15 or 16 game streak of having both a passing and rushing touchdown in the game. And the last big negative I want to mention is dropped balls. I want to know, is somebody on the staff or one of the players of the opposing teams sneaking into Miami's locker room before kickoff and dipping all of our veteran wide receivers' gloves in popcorn butter or something? Because I don't know what's going on. Too many drop passes that are crucial, and it just so happens to hit them either in the hands or right in the numbers. We've got to catch those. But to wrap this thing up, I'd love to take you guys over to the stats on ESPN.com and just do a quick breakdown of the game. Again, this reaction is kind of relatively short. It's super late. It's like 2, almost 3 o'clock in the morning for me. Plus, I have to edit this video afterwards, plus upload it, so I'll be up till like 4 or 5 a.m. But I do want to hop over and take a look at those stats with you guys. So third down efficiency for Miami in this game. This is a little bit of an improvement, believe it or not. 6 of 13. Total 485 yards. Louisville, once again, as we said, over 500 in this game. Passing many more yards compared to the UAB game. Just a little over 100 yards against UAB, but racking up 325 passing yards in this game. A little more successful against Louisville. De'Aaron King went 18 of 30 for 325 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Rushing 160 yards, that's okay. It was still a factor for us in this game. We touched on the 75-yard touchdown run from Cameron Harris, so he still looks nice and healthy after that scare in the UAB game. Penalties, man. I know I already mentioned it. 11 penalties for 89 yards. Almost the length of the entire football field in penalty yardage. Got to be more disciplined on that. But what's really nice to see, what really stood out to me when looking at these team stats here, the time of possession. Check this out. Miami right under 22 minutes, 21 minutes and 59 seconds. Louisville almost double the time of possession, and we still put more points on the board. This is at times potentially kind of a double-edged sword here, right? I know that this is full time of possession here, but what I'm getting at is we had the 2 scores that were on the first play of that offensive possession. So our defense really didn't get a breather. I mean, those guys didn't even get to sip on the Gatorade yet, and it was time for them to take the field again. So I'll always take 7 points. I'll always take the score, but we maybe need a little bit more time occasionally, sometimes at least, for the defense to get a little bit of a breather so they can come out fresh on the next possession. Let's also take a look here at the box score. Again, we mentioned De'Aaron King already, 18 of 30, 325, 3 touchdowns. Again, 0 interceptions. Ball security is huge. I love De'Aaron King's football IQ. Rushing, Cameron Harris leading the way, 9 carries for 134 yards. That's a 14.9 average. And the 75-yard touchdown run. That's a huge run for Cameron Harris, and our run game absolutely is still a threat. Don Chaney Jr. and Jalen Knighton didn't have quite as big of nights as they did against UAB. I think they both had over 50 yards against UAB. 7 carries for 10 yards for Chaney, 4 carries for 9 yards for Knighton, and again, King held to just 9 yards tonight. Now, don't think that I'm giving particular players any special attention. I'm just kind of touching on briefly a couple of the stats here. Receiving. This was huge, targeting Jordan and Will Mallory tonight. I don't know if something happened with Mallory, if he had to go out with like an injury or something, but we didn't really see him much after the beginning of the game. I feel like he could have been a bigger threat throughout this, but understandably so if maybe he got injured or something. But Brevin Jordan, 7 receptions for 120 yards. And that just shows, again, with Rhett Lashley coming in with that offense, one of the biggest targets with SMU was their tight ends. So that's huge for us, considering that we have guys like Brevin Jordan and Will Mallory on this squad. So leading the receptions was Brevin Jordan, 17.1 average. Knighton, of course, that big reception for 75 yards. Pope, 4 receptions for 64 yards, but got to catch those, Pope. Got to catch them. I'm not just picking at you, bro, but got to come down with more of those catches. Same goes for Harley. 2 receptions for 30 yards. Will Mallory, again, 1 reception for 17 yards. Wiggins kind of quiet. 2 receptions for 15 yards. Let's see. Defensively, Bubba Bolden had a pretty big night. Made some crucial tackles for us, especially on some third downs. 11 total tackles. 9 solo, 1 tackle for loss. McLeod stepped up a little bit, did cause a fumble. 9 total tackles for him. Blades got the interception. We did get to see the turnover chain for the first time. I love the design, kind of showing that we own the state of Florida with the U logo on it. That's big time. That'll be huge for recruiting. And then tonight we did do better. We had 3 sacks compared to the 1 sack against UAB. So overall, again, the biggest thing with the defense is the D's just got to tighten up, man. We've got to tackle better. We can't be giving up yardage like that to teams like Clemson and some of these opponents that we have coming up, because they will make us pay giving up that kind of yardage and if we don't tackle better. So that's really kind of it for this quick reaction video. I know I usually do something a little more crazy than this, but this was just kind of a chill game. I realized it was close at times, and we slowly were letting them kind of come back in and put up some points, but I feel like that we were in control in this game, and I must say that I'm really happy to say that. Of course, as you can tell throughout this video, I've been grinning from ear to ear. It feels good to be 2-0, undefeated at this point in the season. And don't let fans of opposing teams tell you that you can't celebrate a victory. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. I don't care if it's UTEP. Enjoy a victory. So leave your comments down below and let's talk about the game. Again, there are more positives and negatives, different takeaways that I could put into this video, but we try to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. But we can take the conversation down to the comment section and talk about how you guys felt about this game. Louisville fans, I'd love to see you. If you would show your face down in the comment section, I will absolutely respond. We can talk it out. There was so much trash talk that went back and forth for this game. I'm always here. I always show my face, win or loss. But I must say, Louisville fans had left the building in the live hangout. There was maybe 1 left out of almost 500 people. So I'd love to see if you guys show up down in the comment section below. You guys know what time it is. Miami Hurricanes fans, it is rivalry week. FSU, you're next. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I almost forgot to do the little outro there because I was just so focused on the FSU game. I am so hyped for this matchup.